All right, everybody. I went to the kickoff for Sam Houston State football yesterday. What did I see? What did I hear? What did I learn? We'll talk about that today, along with other things. Welcome into the Bearkat Bites podcast. I am Fobbs, aka or Fobbs the chairman. Welcome in. We're here. You can check out our newsletter. You can check out our Twitter. We've even got a TikTok. You can check out all that stuff there. Links are in the description. But I want to get to, and you can comment as well. I want to get to what I saw, sights and sounds from Sam Houston. They had their kickoff in Houston. I'm sure a lot of alums didn't know. I mean, but there are a lot of people there. There was a good number there. And again, it's always, the idea is quality over quantity. Well, that was definitely the definition. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of people ready to make some things shake for Sam Houston, as far as the football team and things like that. So it was a good energy, The food was great. Anything that's not media food, I try to leave it. But then I got clapped on the shoulder and said, "Oh man, get some food, dude!" From the great Ben Reichert there. So with the SID for Sam Houston, media relations guy, shout out to him. But I did, and it was really good. They had a lot of good food there. That was great. Some things I saw that were interesting. So first off, just how did this even happen? I spoke with Bobby Williams. I spoke with President Dr. White, Alyssa White. I thought to talk with Phil Longo a little bit. And so started with Dr. White. She said that there were a few influential people in and around sports that are Sam Houston alum or Sam Houston supporters that made this move happen. So I wonder who they were, and I wonder how that went. I wonder what was going on with that. That seemed interesting. Tried to ask a little bit about it. Just no specific names were given and things like that, but we kind of have an idea of a few, those who are on the inside. But another nugget that I got was, and we're just going to give you some nuggets here about what happened and what we saw. The gray jerseys, they're going to be here. Now, if you went to the fundraiser there, the gray jerseys were there. Now, again, I'm based out of Houston, work here, things like that. Can't make everything that's not a game for Sam Houston. Can't make a lot of stuff that isn't a game, right? So they were there, and people had seen them, but no one knew if it was official to post them. But Bobby Williams basically gave people the green light to share it. I mean, you're going to put that out in the public, so go ahead. I expect a fun release on the week that those are used. I would guess one of the Wednesday night games, the UTEP one. I would guess the UTEP one. And then a lot of people wanted to ask about the jack-o'-lanterns. A lot of people wanted to ask about, hey, why are the black jerseys with the orange print, why are those not available? Why can we not get those? Why can they not play in those? And I think that a big reason why is the fact that, there's only so many opportunities at home that you'll have for that now at Bauer Stadium to really release those. What I'm saying is that I think that they're going to go to Huntsville and do that. Now, don't be surprised when they're opening the new Bauer Stadium, not at the opener, but hopefully they get a Halloween game, maybe do it. I would call them the jack-o'-lanterns. Others want them called the black cats. So I would do it then. I would definitely do it then. So if that's kind of your speed and your jam. What else did I see? Oh, the 2026 spring game, they're going to have it at New Bauer Stadium. Bobby Williams said that. He spoke with me also, and sideline Sam Houston. Got a chance to meet him. Great guy, by the way. Great guy. We might look at maybe having some of the other people in the ecosystem here talking about Sam Houston, right? We might have some of that, but that was a thing. So you're gonna have it in 2026. The great alternate unis, they have been released. So that's gonna be a thing. And again, the black jerseys, I believe, are coming, and it'll be in a season that's that is really rocking and rolling how Phil Longo closer to the vision of how he really wants this thing to go, right? What else? Dr. White, she's going to speak with Texas Southern. She's going to speak with Texas Southern. And why? Why is she going to speak with Texas Southern? Why is Dr. White going to talk with them? Reason. She's going, Texas Southern plays there. They played there for the better part of a decade. That has been their home, the Dynamo Stadium. Sam Houston State is getting to use it as well this year. So they're going to be kind of bunk mates. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like a roommate situation where one works in the evening, the other works during the day. They never really see each other, so it kind of works. It's going to be one of those things for at least a season, right? So I asked Dr. White, did she talk to Texas Southern about, hey, what can we expect playing in the stadium? How's the parking? Can we get some ideas? And she said, oh, that's a good idea. We should talk to them. No one thought to talk to them, and she didn't mean it tongue in cheek or sarcastically or anything. She genuinely thought that was a good idea. I wonder why they wasn't done sooner. I wonder why that wasn't done sooner. But they're going to talk, so that's a good thing. Again, it was a nice event. It was held in the club level of Dynamo Energy Stadium there. It was held there in the club level. Some of you high roller cat fans might get a chance to experience it and see that. What else do we have? There's a lot of construction around Shell Energy, by the way. There's a lot of construction around Shell Energy. I'll try to talk about this later, but what you want to do is park in what's the name of that? Palm Center. Go to the Palm Center station and take the purple line north. It'll take you right there to Dynamo Stadium. Park in the Palm Center station and take the purple line north. And I don't know why no one is really educating Bearkat fans about this. I don't understand why nobody is educating Bearkat fans about any of this stuff, But I got a chance to speak with Phil Longo. Very funny, very introspective. Really approachable guy, really nice guy. You know what I mean? Good person. You can see how his football mind works. You can see how all this stuff. I mean, I feel like you could just talk stuff with the guy for a long time. Had a lot of great stories, stuff like that. Got a chance to see Freddie Autry Lindsay there, shook hands and saw him. Glad everything was going well with him. Everybody just was in good spirits as they start the season. It doesn't seem to be too stressful. You know what I'm saying? It really seems like the players are, to me, that means that the players are really adapting and accepting what the coaches are saying. It really shows that, they're learning what they want them to learn. Now it's just going to be a question of, can they execute when the game is on? Can they make that really happen? But again, though, there were no billboards anywhere. There was none of it. So this is what I wanted to talk about as well. Where's the marketing at? Where's the marketing that's going to come in and say, hey, we're here. We're Sam Houston State. We're the college or the university. Sam Houston football is here. You know what I mean? Where is that? Where is it? I haven't seen a billboard. Again, I use the associates test, the friends and associates test, friends and family test. They don't know about it. There's a lot of Bearcats in the family. They are unaware. They are unaware. Some of them never even been to a college football game for Sam Houston, and they went to the school and graduated. It's an entire thing, and here's the thing: not all of those people would be interested, but there are a lot that would be. There's a lot of them that would be, and you got to figure that out and make that happen. You got to make that happen. That's what it's gonna do. That's what it's gonna be for Sam Houston when it really turns around. Now, there's a lot of support being pushed. There's a lot of stuff like that being pushed. So let's make sure we got this posted there. Good. So, there's a lot of stuff being pushed for Sam Houston as far as support. So, we'll see. It's going to come down to the marketing and making people aware that this is happening. Now, if that can happen, I think this could work. I think this could work. But yeah, Phil Longo, great guy, great guy. I was thinking some things about Phil Longo when I was going through some of his career arc. This guy, now the whole story is about Phil Longo is the fact that he is this guy that's can't handle that is stepping into, I should say, a tough situation. Can he handle it? What's going on? There's all of this stuff, right? Phil Longo's been in some tough situations. He's been in some of these. What do you mean? What do you mean, Fob? Let me tell you. Start with Ole Miss. Ever since he left Sam Houston, it's been like this. Let me tell you something. At Ole Miss, he was the OC. Now, remember, how did he end up the OC at Ole Miss? Well, the guy that there before him was fired for texting some of the ladies of the night, shall we say, if you remember that. You know that guy, current Auburn coach Hugh Freeze. You know that guy. Yeah, he got fired for some of that and paying the players before it was legal to do so. So they had to can him. So Ole Miss was placed on, I think, 2-year postseason ban. I think it was 1 or 2 years. So that's a tough situation. Anytime you're told that the players are, hey, you're not really playing for anything right now. Do they really want to stay in and be a part of that? Guys might leave. So Longo was stepping into a tough situation with Shea Patterson as the quarterback, okay? Okay? This was infractions era Ole Miss that Phil Longo was taking over as far as the offensive coordinator there with Matt Luke, right? So then Phil Longo goes to North Carolina with Mac Brown, and things start to work with Drake May, and then COVID hits, which, granted affected everybody, but that's a tough situation. COVID hits. You know what? Let me tell you something. Longo compares the coaches to educators, and I can tell this, from seeing people, teachers who were struggling with this and educators during the pandemic. It's hard keeping kids' attention when they're having a buzz in. Just like their adult parents when they're working remote. Are they really all alert? Now imagine an 11-year-old. Come on now. And then he goes to Wisconsin, where not the greatest quarterbacks, right? Not the greatest quarterbacks. So that was a thing. And the other thing that we also learned about Phil Longo is, man, his running backs are A1. His running backs are pretty dang good. His running backs are pretty dang good. Okay? So I was looking at the wins and even the losses. The offense has always outgained their opponent, even in the losses. So these offenses of Phil Longo get yards. It's can they execute in the red zone? It's can they do things like that? So we'll see. That's what this means. And his running backs, man, if they were fantasy running backs, you'd be pretty happy every week. You'd be pretty happy. You would have been happy with North Carolina, Elijah Green, with those last few games where he really emerged. Oh, yeah, go back and look at some of those Phil Longo games. Pretty interesting stuff. So next thing we want to get to. Oh, the win totals. Oh, the old win totals. So I wrote about this, and you can go check that out in the description. The latest Bearkat Bites newsletter. The latest Bearkat Bites newsletter. You can check that out right now, and then the win total tiers are there. Because everyone has kind of these, and what I wanted to do with this discussion is to set realistic expectations of what we can expect of what is acceptable for Sam Houston, because we're about a week out. We're pretty much, for all intents and purposes, 1 week out from the start of the season, right? August 23rd. So as we approach that and think that, because next week's game week, and we can talk a little bit about it then too, if some of y'all want to, let me know in the comments. What do you think is an acceptable win total? Is reasonably? And I will tell you mine. So The ones that I had were the 0 to 3 wins. 0 to 3 wins. That means that, oh man, the program, oh, this might be a little bit take a little longer than they expect, kind of like the construction around actual Huntsville. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Bauer Stadium, right? Some of that stuff is going on. Maybe some of the players just say, to hell with this. I'm gone. I'm done. Maybe some of that stuff has happened. If it's 0 to 3 wins, maybe just the talent simply wasn't there. Maybe injuries happened. Maybe things like that went down. Maybe that was a thing, right? Maybe that's what happened. That's what 0 to 3 wins would mean, and everyone thought that the defense isn't deep, and it exposes that guys have to play out of position, right? And then I kind of came up with the 4 to 7, or you could even say the 4 to 6 win range. Now, the Vegas over under for Sam Houston is 4.5. For an impossible for you Spades players. See, I'm a Spades player, okay? And you got to say how many books, basically, how many wins in your hand do you think you have? And you could say 5 and a possible, whatever it is. It's set at 4 and a possible, right? That's kind of where, okay, maybe it's not quite what we wanted, but they're moving in the right direction. They get some of this positive momentum going. They're going to be back in Huntsville. They're going to be there. It's going to be better, right? That's kind of where it feels. It's kind of where it feels, right? And then you got the 7 and 9, where that's comfortably in a bowl. You've gotten one win that you didn't see coming. And Sam Houston is like, oh man, we're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to get this thing done. We're not quite there, but man, in another year or so, we're going to be taking on that conference title, Conference USA. We will be the winners of it. We'll capture that in 2020. Can I pencil you in for 2027? Right? That's kind of what that would mean. And anything over that, 10 and up, I mean, man. Hey, it's probably time to sign Longo to another extension. It's probably time to pull an Aggie and rip up that contract and sign a fatter one. It's probably time to pull an Aggie and do that, right? I'm an Aggie. It's okay. Make fun of me. Make fun of me. It's okay, right? But that's kind of the win tiers. And again, I would say they're kind of right there in the 4 to the 6 or 7 range. I have them at 5 wins. 5 wins, Sam Houston. I have them at 5 wins. Okay, 5 and 7. That shows me that, okay, this is going in the right direction. This might be okay. By the way, Phil Longo, I know Ole Miss's first year was 5 and 7, and I believe the first year there, and I think the first year at Carolina, they always struggled. The first year offense has always struggled for Longo, right? But then the second year, they're rocking and rolling, and he's got a quarterback and identified a guy that can really run what he wants to run. And then they take off. That's what I kind of see happening with this season, right? A couple of struggles. Maybe defense plays at or above where we think. Maybe an injury or two or something, and we don't wish that, obviously, but, things happen. Things happen. We've seen enough college football. Let me tell you something. I've been covering this stuff since 2011 professionally, all right? And that's always kind of how it goes, in and out, right? So that's just kind of what happens. Something around like that. One of those variations of stories. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it's going to be about. Okay. So I think that's reasonable. I finally wanted, and I also wanted to get to a hot take. Can I get to a hot take? I'm gonna say Conference USA is gonna expand. I'm just gonna drop this in here. Conference USA is gonna expand. I don't know when. I would pencil this in for about 2031 if I had to guess. But get ready for Tarleton State and get ready for Sacramento State. No limits on us. That's the slogan. That's the two that they're going to bring in. 2031. What's going to happen then? They're going to rip up these TV contracts, guys. They're going to rip up these entire TV contracts and put together something completely different with different numbers and different monies. And the conferences with the most teams that can get the most footprints and stuff, that's what's going to matter. So you're going to have to bring in those two. Sacramento State at that time, it's good to bring them in because then you're going to have a clear picture. Now, they're bringing in and spending a lot of money, right? But is the money going to still be there? That is the question. That is going to be the question. What are they going to be looking like? You know, yesterday's price ain't today's price, all of that type of stuff. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that. And Tarleton State, they've been spending for a while. Let's see if they can sustain that as well. So I would say those two are going to be welcome to FBS. And I know that Judy McLeod with the conference, the commissioner, they don't want to be known as the stepping stone conference. But I mean, where else can you go? How else do you expand? The only way is to welcome in these guys. Maybe pay their fee, do something creative. There's stuff available if you really embrace it. You know, again, it's a funky alternative team conference. You know what I mean? And I've always pushed that and said that about the conference. All right, you guys. All right. As we wrap it up here, a reminder, the Big Sam teas are coming soon. The Big Sam teas are coming soon. They were supposed to be here today. They're supposed to be here today. You know, there's probably a lot of FedEx packages there. We're going to have to wait a little bit. Hopefully next week, I'll be able to debut them and wear the shirt here on the broadcast for you. All right. Maybe I'll be able to do that. Make sure that you all are a part of the newsletter. Now, again, we've got two ways to do these things. Let's see what we've got. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see what we've got here. All right, cool. Let's see. Got a text from some well wishers there. Appreciate that. But if you want one of the Sam Houston tees, there'll be two ways to play. You can just get it for $25, or if you get a yearly subscription to the Sam Houston newsletter, there is a free subscription. But if you decide to be a paid subscriber, it is $50 for the year. If you do that, you're going to get the t-shirt and you're going to get the Christmas gift. You're going to get the Christmas gift as well. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now for posterity purposes as well. September 13th. Well, I guess into the 14th here in the lower 48, as we say. September 14th. Now, that's important because that is when we're going to do our Hawaii post game. We're going to have a post game after every game, or of some sort, be it here or be it on the Twitter machine, wherever. We're going to have a post game somewhere. You better believe that, okay? But that's important for the Hawaii game because at the end of that, we're cutting it off for the Christmas offer. We will see you again the next cluster once we decide that for the spring offer. Now, we do this year-round. This is Sam Houston Football, the only year-round Sam Houston Football podcast and newsletter, professional media outlet, you know. And there's a difference between media, professional reporter, and content creator. A content creator is a Rabbit fan, okay? And there's nothing wrong with Rabbit fan. There's nothing wrong with the burners, none of that stuff. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But again, as Glenn Davis said, who covers soccer here in Houston, if you want your team to feel important and things like that, you've got to be honest about your assessments. You've got to be professional about it when you're doing these podcasts, when you're doing these things. So I started it because Sam Houston, which is near and dear to my family, you deserve a media outlet that is professional, that handles it big, makes it feel big. You know what I mean? So when you all do that and you support us, we're able to do that. We're able to do that, okay? So you guys make sure you click the links in the description, and we are here for you all. So we'll see you all next time. It's going to be game week next week. Woo! We made it, guys. We made it. The next time we talk, this time next week, there'll be a game the next day. See ya.